Guys, Apple announced not one, but two different Studio Display updates, and they secretly killed one product they never even told you about. Let's talk about it. So let's start with what's updated for the standard Studio Display. You're still getting the same 27-inch panel that we have today, still the same pixels per inch, 218, same resolution. Really, there's a lot that's the same, including the starting price of $1,599 for the standard tilt-adjustable display, as well as the nano texture cost of $1,899. A lot of money for the display. Now, the center stage camera, the studio quality mics, as well as the speaker system have been upgraded thanks to a processor upgrade that's in the display itself. Now, we don't know what processor it is quite yet. We really won't know until we get our hands on it, but those things have been updated. And with the camera system itself, you are getting the ability to have desk view, which is kind of like a top-down view of your desk while you have the display on. These are available starting tomorrow, Wednesday, March 4th at 6:15 a.m., and they're available for delivery or pickup, actually, if you want, on Wednesday, March 11th, which is the following Wednesday. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, Mike, what is wrong with you? Why would I spend $1,600 at least on a studio display? I think that's a reasonable question, but I would tell you that if you buy the display, you actually have the ability to circumvent some additional costs, which I'll talk through here in just a moment. Okay, so what's different here? So Thunderbolt 5 is going to be the salient feature. It allows for daisy chaining of multiple accessories together, not just another display, but anything that supports Thunderbolt 5, and you're getting more bandwidth for those accessories. So it supports PCI Gen 4, if I'm not mistaken, and it gives you up to 120 gigabytes per second for data throughput, which is 3 times the amount. So it starts at 40 for Thunderbolt 3, Thunderbolt 4, no change, and Thunderbolt 5 goes to 80 gigabits or 80 gigabytes per second. This really opens up a lot of use cases for content creation. And really, if you think about like your desk setup today, if you have a computer, a monitor, a hub, this has the ability to replace the hub that's on your desk or replace you from even needing a hub. So it would actually decrease the cost because hubs for Thunderbolt are $300, $400, $500. The Thunderbolt hub that I'm looking at right now is from Anker. That was like $399 if I'm not mistaken. There's another one from CalDigit, which is $499. So it definitely has the ability to absorb some of that cost. So it's something that you want to think about when you're considering buying this, but also the FaceTime camera, which should be better than it is before because it is a potato cam today, and the ability for desk view. So those are all really novel new features that are in this display, but you are still getting the same tired display tech. 60 hertz, it's LCD panel, no local dimming, 600 nits of brightness. These are all things that were acceptable in 2022, arguably, but they're not really acceptable in 2025. It does offer the best plug-and-play experience on a Mac, which makes sense because it's Apple's product. That said, it's still a very expensive monitor, and it is still for the people who demand the best experience, but they gotta be willing to pay for it because it is not cheap. But the standard Studio Display is not the story today. The real news is what Apple's doing at the high end with the Studio Display XDR. This is an all-new 27-inch XDR technology, and what that means is you are getting high contrast, high brightness. It's mini LED, so it has local backlighting or local dimming, and you're getting sustained brightness for SDR content at 1,000 nits, HDR content for 2,000 nits, which is very good with a 1,000,000 to 1 contrast ratio. You're getting ProMotion, so it's adaptive sync, so it can fluctuate the screen refresh rate all the way up to 120 hertz. You're also getting P3 color, wide color gamut, reference mode for color critical work. There's a nano texture option as well. But the same story applies to the ports. You're getting 2 Thunderbolt ports, 1 upstream, 1 downstream, as well as 2 USB-C ports for 10 gigabytes per second. Now you're getting the same great speakers as well as an upgraded studio quality mics for better internal recording. Now the price, I hope you're sitting down, it's $3,299 starting price for the regular non-nano texture version, or it's $3,599 for the nano texture version, which is a little insane when you think about it. That's a lot of money. It does give you a tilt and height adjustable stand for that base price, or you can get the VESA for the same price. Same thing with order availability. You can order it tomorrow morning, Wednesday, March 4th, and it's available in store on March 11th. Now you might think that the Studio Display XDR is an automatic buy, 120 hertz, mini LED, 2,000 nits sustained brightness. It really does sound great. Well, you might want to hold off on that purchase because I have one extremely good reason that you're going to want to hold off for what's coming up here in just a moment. Now, who should consider upgrading to the Studio Display XDR? So if you're someone who is highly sensitive to refresh rates, videographers, video editors, working in HDR, this is going to give you a Pro Display XDR experience at nearly half the cost. If you're grading HDR content, this is the entry point I think that you're going to be looking for, especially for photographers. and that you need reference level accuracy when you're doing so. You're a professional photographer, this makes you money. You know, you're a professional videographer, this makes you money. Because reference mode will give you cinema standard presets, P3 S2 2084 and P3 D65, if I'm not mistaken. So those are all things that you would want to have on your display, especially when you're delivering color critical work that you're being paid for. Now, if you're a developer who works in ProMotion and you want your screen to look buttery smooth, 120 Hertz will make an absolute difference. But there are some people who should not buy it. So here's the first filter I would give you if you have a Mac that is an M1, M1 Pro, M1 Max, M1 Ultra, M2, M3. They only support the Studio Display at 60 Hertz. So you're paying that much more money for a display that's going to be 60 Hertz. So unless you already own or plan to upgrade a Mac that has the right processor, I would actually totally wait. Also, casual users, you just want a nice display. That's an expensive display just for it being nice. This is not for you. Anyone who doesn't work in HDR or who have color critical work, this is not for you either. You don't need this. Now let's talk about what Apple didn't say today. Number one, they killed the Pro Display XDR. It is gone, $4,999. That display is gone, so is the $1,000 stand, thank you very much. They discontinued that, and now the Studio Display XDR is the top of the line. Number two, while it does connect to your iPad, ProMotion will only work on the M5 iPad Pro that came out last fall. If you have an M5 iPad Air, it will connect to it, but it won't be at the 120 Hertz refresh rate because the iPad itself does not support it. Number three, there is no OLED. Everyone here was talking about OLED as a rumor. This is mini LED. It's great, but the rumors of OLED Studio Display have been circulating for months. Maybe Apple's saving that for an updated Pro Display XDR, maybe, you know, WWDC, who knows? I think that it's going to come out soon. So what am I doing? Well, as much as I love the idea of HDR content and ProMotion, I have absolutely zero need for HDR content, and ProMotion is not a deal breaker for me on my display. My MacBook supports it. I don't necessarily need it on my display. So knowing that, I'm currently using an LG 32U990AS as my primary monitor and my Studio Display first generation as my secondary monitor. Those two displays are doing me very well right now, but I will be ordering the Studio Display 2, the one that we talked about at the very beginning, and the Studio Display XDR to test, though I can't see myself keeping the XDR because of the added cost. And even though I have a nano texture 14-inch MacBook Pro, I'm not going to be ordering nano texture on either of these displays. I don't really think it's worth it for me personally. I'm in a controlled lighting environment, and I think the glossy image on the Studio Display is just perfect. But just skip the nano texture option unless you have windows, natural lighting that you cannot control when it's hitting your desk or your display. Now, if you want to find out about the rest of Apple's announcements today, you can go ahead and click on the playlist that I have here. Otherwise, get subscribed for full hands-on coverage, and I will see you guys in the next one.